Hey everyone, Mr. Sujano here. In this video, I've got a bunch of great news for you. We're talking about PlayStation Vita, Nintendo 3DS, Nintendo 64, your ROM collection, and Gameloft. Let's get started. Alright, we'll kick things off here talking about Nintendo 3DS emulation on Android with Citra, just not the version that's on the Google Play Store. We're talking about Citra MMJ, the fork of Citra designed for performance as a post-emulation accuracy, where MMJ stands for Subscribe to Mr. Sujano. We've got some good news here. So previously, myself and a bunch of other people had a bit of an issue with Citra MMJ closing its source. It's not to say I have an issue with closed source programs, but the way Citra MMJ did it was not very good at all. They kind of violated GPL licensing in doing so. They were asked about it, we called them out, and they did publish their source code. At this point in time, and hopefully this doesn't change, the latest version of Citra MMJ does have its source code published. And that is version tag 2022-1009. A big thank you goes out to the developer of Citra MMJ for righting the wrong and fixing the issue. Next up, we're still talking about 3DS and we're still talking about Android with the official version of Citra. Again, not on the Google Play Store, but the development builds have something you might be interested in. If you head to the main Citra website, which is at citra-emu.org, and I'll drop a link in the description below, click on download, and then click on manual download. From here you have access to the nightly builds and the canary builds, including Android. So at a high level, both of these builds are experimental, and the canary build is arguably a little bit more experimental than the nightly build. The canary build might have some features that aren't available in the nightly build. And in one of the latest nightly builds, Android got support for custom textures and texture dumping. So if you are using Citra on Android, I recommend heading to the official Citra website and picking up the latest Android build. It's a lot more recent than what's on the Google Play Store. And next up here, we're still talking about Citra, just shifting over to PC, and it's still being actively developed. In fact, they're making incredible Vulkan progress. GPU Code 3 has been working extremely hard to get Vulkan to perform on the same level as OpenGL, which has a ton of benefits. Performance can increase, the possibility to completely eliminate shader stutters is there. On top of that, accuracy could possibly get better. So I hope that GPU Code 3 can continue on with this development and really bring Vulkan up to speed. Next up, we're talking about PlayStation Vita emulation on Android with Vita 3K, and I've got a great update for you. MacDo is at it yet again. This is Tale of Hearts running on Vita 3K on Android using a Poco F3 with a Bluetooth controller. The emulator is up and running, it's looking really good and rendering the game fairly darn well. It is worth pointing out that Vita 3K is still in extremely early stages of development. It's going to be a while before you can get your hands on an APK, possibly a couple of months or maybe even more. MacDo is doing amazing work, but they still got a ways to go. Moving on now, and we're talking about Wii U emulation with CEMU, and we've got a brand new feature. CEMU is now compatible with Pretendo. And for those who may be unaware of what Pretendo is, we've talked about it a few times on this channel. Feel free to check out one of those videos, but at a high level here, Pretendo is a free and open source replacement for Nintendo servers for both the 3DS and the Wii U. It allows online connectivity. As of this moment, we don't have an official announcement from CEMU just yet, but I'm assuming we're going to get one pretty soon. We don't have any documentation on how to get this up and running perfectly with CEMU yet either. If you head to the CEMU GitHub page, check out CEMU version 2.0-4 and click on 23 commits. From here, if you scroll to the bottom, we can see add support for choosing network service, including Pretendo. I think at this point it's pretty fair to say as soon as I know more about this, you'll know more about this. And if you already know a bunch about this, let me know in the comments below. Next up, we're talking about the N64. And if you're a fan of Deltarune and also Super Mario 64, you might like this new ROM hack. It is Super Spamton 64. and basically Mario has been replaced with Spamton. I think this is a pretty fun little ROM hack, and if you're interested in learning more or checking it out, I'll drop a link to this YouTube video in the description below. I do recommend checking it out. The entire ROM hack is free, it's open source, it's available on GitHub, and it also works with the original N64. Next up, this is a really quick one. If you're in for an interesting read, and I mean really interesting, there's a great interview with GDK Chan, the founder of Ryujinx, over on Linux Gaming Central. This one is hot off the press and it's definitely worth a read. And like always, I'll drop a link to this page in the description below, and I do recommend checking it out. And last up here, and possibly least depending on how you want to look at this, we're talking about Gameloft, and it appears that Gameloft will be trying their hand at making a brand new AAA game. So this was spotted by the folks over at GameShuel. I'll leave a link to this page in the description below, and yes, I recommend checking it out as well. They say Gameloft hiring for a highly ambitious AAA PC or console game. Apparently the game will be open world and built using Unreal Engine, and a lot of people are speculating that it might end up being a Genshin clone. So a clone of a clone, if that makes sense. The posting is still up, it's still active, so I guess if you're a senior game designer built in Romania, you can check this one out. And now for some more fun, a lifetime license giveaway to Launchbox. I still have a few of these to give away, and this one will be for either Windows or Android, completely your choice. You have to send the correct answer to launchboxgiveaway@mrsujano.com, and the question's simple. Who is the developer currently working on Vita 3K for Android? Send that over to launchboxgiveaway@mrsujano.com within the next 24 hours, and I'm going to be choosing a winner at random. Make sure to include your name and what version of the key you're looking for, either Windows or Android. It's also worth pointing out that only the winner will receive a reply from that email. If you don't receive a reply, that means you didn't win. But don't worry, because I'm still giving out a whole bunch of lifetime licenses. I still have like 15 or so to give out. But anyways, that is all I've got for you in this one. Straight to the point, all stuff and no fluff. We talked about a ton today. Let me know your thoughts about any of it in the comments below. If you like this video, leave a like. If you didn't like this video, leave a like. Hit that subscribe button, check out my other videos. Don't tempt fate, save your state.